moments ago, news breaking on Twitter that Bill Belichick has interviewed for a head coaching job. Not with the NFL. No.
Not the Saints? Or
Not with the Saints?
Jets or...
Not the Jets.
Whoever the hell else is available.
Who else
Chicago?
has been, the Bears.
Jaguars.
Jaguar. Well, the Jaguars
They still have a coach.
Poor
Doug Peterson's body's not cold yet.
They haven't fired him yet. But there are some teams that are looking. They're right now. They have interim head coaches, and they are looking for a solution there. Belichick is not interviewing with any of them. He is interviewing with the University of North Carolina.
Ooh, Tar Heels, baby.
This now, it was an early report. It's now all over the place. As Inside Carolina, who I'm not familiar with. It looks like a 24/7, 24/7 Sports. It's one of their North Carolina blogs. But here it is. 6-time Super Bowl champion Bill Belichick interviewed for the head coaching vacancy at North Carolina this week. He's among a group of candidates that Tar Heels have spoken with since firing Mac Brown back on November 26th. That is a list that includes Tulane head coach John Summerall, Georgia defensive coordinator Glenn Schumann, among others. The initial report Sunday, the initial contact between Belichick and UNC officials. That when it first came out. Adam Schefter reported in September that Belichick was eyeing a return to coaching in 2025, but is expected to be choosy if and when he returns to the sideline. Schefter reported that Belichick turned down offers from the Niners and Rams to fill the defensive coordinator vacancies in a decorated assistant role. The report from Inside Carolina is the first official known interest between Belichick and a college football program. Now, I don't know exactly how it works when there's an NFL team that's fired their head coach, what the interview process is like, how that kind of goes in season, if they've named an interim coach, if they have to be sneaky about it. I don't know the rules there. And I maybe should have looked into that before I started talking about it. But I will say this. For him to be interviewing with college teams implies to me that he may not think there's a whole ton of interest in the NFL with any of these teams. That's sort of what that signals to me, unless he plans on taking a million interviews or any interview that he gets, which for all intents and purposes, I mean, that may be something that he's going to do anyway. But I don't necessarily consider this like Chip Kelly going to UCLA and then springboarding that back into the NFL. He's 72 years old. You're not going stepping stone jobs here. I think that if he knew he had something lined up, or if that he had a good idea about something lined up in the NFL, why would he even bother taking this interview?
Yeah, I don't get this at all. It makes
weird, right?
No sense to me.
You're not breaking the record at UNC.
No. Yeah. And snarkily, it's like, hey, UNC wanted to get younger on the sideline. He's 1 year younger than Mac Brown. Like, right. I don't, and I've seen people. Because sometimes the speculation on weird interviews is like, oh, it's just the interview. He wants to like brush up on his interviewing skills. But I can't even imagine that in this landscape of NIL and all that crap, that a college interview is anything like the NFL.
Right.
Like I don't need recruiting, and everything that goes into it is just so foreign to him, first of all, who's never coached in college. Mm-hmm. He was supposed to coach in college before he started his NFL career, and he didn't. He turned the job down. I think he was supposed to be an assistant for maybe a Lou Holtz tie-in or something. Okay. But he ended up going to the Colts, and obviously a pro career, did quite well after that.
Yeah, he did okay.
I don't know what he would get. I just Googled Bubba Cunningham as the athletic director. I wanted to see if there was some... Did he go to school with Bill? Is there some, like, tie-in there?
You love an athletic director named Bubba, don't you?
Well, I mean, his first name is Lawrence, just to be clear.
No, it's Bubba.
Okay, Bubba. It does say at the top of his page, though, Bubba Cunningham.
Bubba Cunningham,
yeah. I don't see an obvious tie-in there to Bill, or that would make sense. I even asked you during the break. You said, Belichick's interviewing at North Carolina. I go, Bill?
Yeah.
Because Steve, I mean, it's only 1 year, but he's a defensive coordinator in college.
Yep.
He has pro background. I don't think it would be the craziest thing to say Steve Belichick was interviewing at North Carolina. I think that's much less crazy than Bill Belichick.
Agreed.
Because most people think the only reason Bill wants to coach is to get the wins. I heard Bill O'Brien say it this morning on the Greg Hill Show. Mm-hmm. He's 14 wins away or whatever. Now, Bill O'Brien puts more stock in that record than I do, because I don't think anybody on the planet knows who the all-time wins leader really is and what the number is and all of that crap. I can't. Can you formulate a logical explanation as to why this makes sense for either side, by the way?
Yes, here's my explanation. Bill Belichick decided, you know what? I really like the idea of 18 to 23-year-olds getting paid millions of dollars and I want to be a part of that. I want to coach these kids, these teenagers who are getting fabulously wealthy in college and just telling the coach, doing whatever they want all the time, driving around campus with, girls flying out of the car. Like, that's what I want. Like that. I want to be a part of that. That seems like something that me, 72-year-old Bill Belichick, an environment that I'd thrive in.
And see, I thought I was going to give you a hard. I thought you were going in a different direction about 18 to 24-year-olds.
Well, that too. Hey,
I thought you were going to bring up something else.
I wasn't even, honestly, I didn't even think of that. I just meant he would, you know what I mean? Like, yes. In the NIL era, Bill Belichick, how's that going to work?
He's going to get treated the way he treated players. Like, he used to cut ties with players just willy-nilly. Mm-hmm. Now the players can do it to him. They can go there for 1 year, transfer in, out. Oh, wait, you're not going to give me $1 million more next year? I had 5 touchdowns this year. I'm out of here. It makes no sense to me on any level. We did have a snarky, like, hey, maybe his girlfriend's doing grad school there or something, and they just want to be close. But if you're North Carolina, it's the same argument with the pros. We say he might be with a team for 2 or 3 years.
Right.
What does North Carolina get out of Bill Belichick for 2 or 3 years?
Good question. I have no idea.
I don't even... This is weird.
It is weird. Dan, you have a theory?
To me, this came off as a mediocre to subpar PR play for him and whoever his representation is. Oh, it's the middle of or at the beginning of December before the NFL coaching cycle begins. Bill's already getting interest. He's already getting interviews. So when NFL teams have their vacancies, well, he's already back up for at least one job. So why shouldn't we interview him for ours? I'm not saying it's a good one. I'm just saying that's how I perceive it.
And there could be some truth to that. I think Schefter has done his best to really promote Bill Belichick. He's going to have a bunch of jobs to pick from.
And he's on every media outlet you can find at this point trying to give his opinion and continue having his name in the headlines.
So the logic on that end is Bill Belichick's inner circle is concerned that there aren't going to be jobs available. That it could be something like last year where there's maybe one that's interested, but even they're not all in. That is the best argument I've heard. Like, get your name out there, pretend you're a hot commodity, and now he'll pull his name out of consideration. That's what you do here. Bill Belichick has removed his name from consideration for the North Carolina job in hopes of pursuing an NFL job when the hiring cycle begins in January.
Yeah, which he could have just not taken the interview to begin with if he really felt that way.
You know who should go there?
Who
doesn't want to go to college, I don't think, but my guy Josh McDaniels. He could go to North Carolina. You put a baby blue visor on that head, send him out recruiting. What are you laughing at?
It's just funny. You go right to the visor.
Well, he's a visor guy.
I know. It's just a baby blue visor.
And those
on
baby
that
blues
head.
are nice.
Oh, baby.
That's from one visor guy to another right there.
He could sell people on coming to North Carolina. He could massage the boosters and all that and the NIL. He could work that game if he wanted to. Bill Belichick, the curmudgeon, the Grinch. It's that time of year. Pull out that old
there on
Grinch.
the recruiting trail.
Yeah, what are we doing?
I have no idea.
Is he going to bring in Nick Saban as his D coordinator? Now, that would actually be kind of cool.
Yeah, you know what? You got me thinking. That'd
grumpy old men got together at North Carolina.
Two of those guys bopping around the country, interviewing all the top prospects, trying to get them down to Chapel Hill.
Doesn't this kind of make sense for North Carolina, too, though? Think about we're talking about it here in Boston, that job's open. Maybe it reflects as a better job opening for them as well.
Maybe. Or flip the script. You get people thinking about Bill Belichick, and then you hire one of those people I've never heard of that you listed as also being candidates in there.
Yeah.
And then there's disappointment.
It's a good point.
Wait, I thought you guys were interviewing Bill Belichick. Who's the D coordinator from Tulane? I've never heard of him.
Yeah, it's a good point. 617-779-7937 is the phone number. Bill Watch could be heating up here as UNC. It's doing an interview there. Not in the NFL. It'd be interesting if he finishes his career not in the NFL.
You know that there was like a... rumor might be even strong to describe it this way. There was an undercurrent of social media speculation, something. People were trying to say UMass Amherst, like last week, that UMass Amherst and Bill, like there was some connection. Now, obviously, it didn't come to fruition. They hired some guy I've never heard of, but maybe we need to expand Bill Watch to the
Bill
college
on the sideline with that maroon visor on that head. Oh, baby. Oh,
Can you imagine him out there?
That'd be something. It'd definitely be something.